What's good, everyone? So I'm gonna try and one-shot this, and I'm gonna try and make this like raw. I want this to be a real thing. I want it to. I'm gonna say a lot of real stuff in this. I want to call this maybe like a love letter or a send-off to. Hold on, let me turn this setting down just a little bit. It's a little okay. So yeah, this is gonna be a kind of homage this is going to be basically my like signing off to the food industry for a little while. And I'm going to kind of explain, like how I got started, why I decided to do it, and kind of just like my way working, up the ladder and, going to all the places I've been and seeing the things that I've seen and just kind of like what the food industry is really like. And yeah, so I'm hoping this will be pretty good. There's going to be quite a few people that I drop names in on this because there was quite a few people I met along the way that really impacted me and made me realize that there is more to food than most people even think about. So yeah, so if your name gets dropped, just know I got a lot of respect for you, and I'm glad that we got to work on a line together. We got to suffer together a little bit, like those crazy Friday nights when you got tickets just pouring out of the freaking machine and you got shit everywhere on the line and it just kind of looks like a freaking disaster. And all of us, a lot of us along the way have had those nights, and I think it'll be just kind of interesting to talk about. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of go in and kind of tell you like where I got started. I got started, or really like introduced to food, like the first job I ever worked with food was in a Publix deli, and it's just like, it's kind of basic stuff. You like slice meat and you learn it. My dog's trying to say hi, Misha. So yeah, so you've got you slice meat and you take care of customers, and you just kind of you learn, what food temperatures and like the basic knowledge of food, like, food safety, how does one keep the food in a temperature that's supposed to be safe, food handling, that's kind of like what you learn there, it's just very, very basic stuff. And I had a couple other various jobs, and the one that really stuck out to me, and all of us, every single one of us who have worked in the food industry, we all have that one job where you feel like you're a part of something, and like you like there's this light bulb that goes off in your head, and you could just tell, you're just like, man, I love what I'm doing right now. And for me, that job was at a country club called Grand Harbor. At the time, I was working with a sous chef whose name is Golan, and just like watching him work and just doing like some of the things he was doing, like it really, like, I don't know, it inspired me, and it made me, it piqued my interest, it definitely piqued my interest, and I was like, man, there's something to this, like there's more than just, like flipping a burger, like it's so much more in tune, like there's so many more things that you could do. And yeah, and the executive chef at the time, his name is Andrew Carmack. He was a pretty cool guy. Not quite as good of a chef as Golan, which you learn that kind of along the way, that the sous chef most of the time tends to be, in a whole different league than the executive chef is. And it's kind of weird, you kind of see like the further it goes up, the lazier they get, and it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's like they forget what it's like to get your ass kicked on a Friday night, or it's like they just, I don't know, they're just like, oh, I make big money now, so I could just, make a schedule and, make sure that food cost is low, and it's just like, I don't know. So yeah, for me, Grand Harbor was the very first place that I worked at that it was like, what, man, there really is something to this, like you want to do it, you want to keep going, you're just like, man, this is like something that I could see myself doing for a while. And the money is good. Like when you work at a country club, the money's typically really good, especially when you hit overtime and season hits. The money is just pouring in your bank account, and you're just like, all right, this is cool. And that's why, a lot of country clubs, everyone, a lot of people have asked me, well, why don't you just work at one of those? And it's like, they already have a bunch of full-time people, and most of the time, they're not going anywhere, because they know, like, if they leave, that money, it's kind of like they don't want to leave, because they know, like, they're making decent money. And for me it was like mostly about the money, which really isn't that much, but it's, when you find a spot and you get a bunch of overtime, yeah, the money's pretty damn good. And then after that, I left for a while. It was seasonal. They let me go, and they were like, come back next season. And so I left there, did a little experiment, went to New York. That didn't pan out. And there's reasons why it didn't pan out, and I'm glad for them, because like it kind of kept pushing me to like go back to food, And then I wound up at this place called Costa de Este. So it's the Gloria Estefan Hotel. Nice place, really nice place, and they got a lot of good people there. I met so many good people at Costa de Este. I've met some really, really good people there. Had the privilege to work with my my most recent chef, and my chef back then. This is like 2015, so this is 5 years ago. I met Omar, my good friend Omar Ocasio. He's one hell of a cook. He's one hell of a chef. He knows what he's doing. He's very good at teaching. Had a lot of good times together. Did not like him at first. Could not stand him. But we just clicked, and like the man just, like he just understands food. It's like his second language. He does it so well, and it's really impressive. And there was another, the executive chef there at the time. His name was Antonio Estremeta. Very, very cool chef. I think he was from Peru. And when I got there, he was just getting his citizenship, and that guy, very positive, very like good aura, good vibes, just like very good chef, like, and he was there, you saw him doing work, like he wasn't lazy like a lot of executive chefs tend to be. He was very, like, I watched him a lot, and he did a lot of impressive work. But to be honest, I hated it. I absolutely hated Costa. I hated it. The environment was, it's a cool environment, but like, it's so busy. Like, you never, and that's one thing about the food industry. Like, when you do it, unless you're working at like a corporate place, you don't get a break. Cooks do not get a break. So you're working, almost 9.5, 10 hours some days, and it's so busy you can't leave. You literally cannot leave. You can't leave your station until somebody comes in and relieves you, because it's just like the tickets just keep pouring in. And you feel bad if you're even away for like a second, there'd be days where I'd be eating, on the line. I'd make myself something really quick, and you got to eat it like in 30 seconds, because like you got a bunch of tickets pouring in, and it's relentless. So like it was cool because I met a lot of really cool people there that I'm still friends with and that I love, but the place is just like, oh my God, dude, you never have a break. You don't take a 30-minute break. You got to make staff meal, you got to do this, you got to do that, and it's just like, it's freaking relentless. You never get a break. Everybody wonders why you're so angry when they come in, and it's like, you be getting your ass kicked all day long. And these guys that come in at night, they don't want to jump on the line immediately. And I used to be quite ignorant, like I used to get really, really pissed off at the night crew, because they would just come in and they'd bullshit around, and they would just they wouldn't want to take the spot, because but when I became a nighttime cook, I like realized why they didn't want to take over, because they were so behind when they came in that it was just like, if they took over, they'd be so behind that they wouldn't be ready for dinner, which usually starts around 4 or 5 o'clock. So it'd be like they'd come in around, I don't know, 2 or 3, and it'd be just they didn't want to take over, and I understand that now. But before I did not. I was so angry at them. I couldn't stand most of them, and then I finally understood at one point. But yeah, so Costa, it's crazy what things can happen in the food industry. Like I fell in love with someone in the food industry, and she encouraged me to go somewhere else. I did, so I went up to Pennsylvania. Good old Pennsylvania. I worked at so many spots in Pennsylvania, but I had very, very, very medium to minimal knowledge about food. I knew how to cook a burger, I knew how to cook a steak, I knew how to do all kinds of stuff, but it was like bare bones minimum. It was very bare. And then one day, she encouraged me to watch this show on Netflix called Chef's Table. I don't know if you've seen it or you've even heard of it, but the show is fantastic. And when I watched the show, I was like, nah, I don't want to watch that shit. I don't care about that. And but one day I turned it on, and I'm watching these chefs, and they are doing stuff that is so out there and so bizarre, and such with such creativity, and once I started watching that show, I kind of started falling in love with cooking on a regular, but I was constantly, when I got home from work, we would make dinner, and I would constantly critique my dinner, and I would make all kinds of things from scratch, all kinds of things. I love making dessert. I gotta tell you, after cooking for almost 12 years, I gotta tell you, cooking is boring, man. Cooking is so boring. I mean, it can be fun, but it's boring. But what I really like to do is bake. Baking pastries and baked goods and pizza doughs and that kind of stuff, that is way cooler to me than just I don't, it's something so indescribable. It's like you're creating this scientific project, and if you don't do it just right, if you don't have the ratios just right, it won't work. And I really became in love with cooking. It was like all the time we were making food at home, like soups, and we made our own from scratch pizza doughs, and we used to make we used to make falafel from scratch, all kinds of things. And we would bake and would make muffins, make cake, make all kinds of stuff. And I just something just clicked in my mind, and I was just like, I want to do this shit forever. I want to keep doing it. And then I worked at this little restaurant called Fork and Ale, and that was man, I tell you, that was one hell of an experience. And the chef there was making all kinds of stuff that really jived with me. It was everything was from scratch. We made our own mayonnaise, we made our own everything. He used to make us say what, the things we make and why we do it. And he used to come in and just he was kind of crazy, kind of a nut job, but I understood. And he was working towards making something great. And there's nothing like making pretzels from scratch. Make a soft baked warm pretzel from scratch. Kick it up a notch. You know what I'm saying? Really just from scratch is the way to go. It really is. There's nothing better than making from scratch stuff. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's like watching you be creative. It's you get that opportunity to just be creative. And that's what I really love. And then my final destination in Pennsylvania was the DoubleTree Hotel, and I met some really good people there. Shout out to my PA crew. So it's Jamal, Tyrell, Jerry, the wait staff, Adrian, just dude, those guys, Blake, dude, I absolutely love. I love those guys. That was so much fun, man. I would get in there. There was this kid that was working at the DoubleTree. His name was Tim. And dude, he would complain. He reminded me of myself when I did not love cooking. He would complain every single day. Blah 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 blah. This doesn't work. I'm not prepping for you guys at night. But do you need help? I'll help you. I'll help you do this. I'll help you do that. But I'm not helping you prep for nighttime stuff. All right, dude, don't ask me don't ask me if I need help then. It doesn't matter. But yeah, he reminded me of what it was when I was just doing it just because, I was just doing it, but I didn't have passion for it, and but yeah, I mean, there was another guy, Pablo. Man, that guy was so funny, man. Every single day we would listen to the same Bad Bunny songs. Dude, those guys. So yeah, I started out working at lunch there. Abel, love you, bro. Izzy, same to you, buddy. Love you guys. But yeah, I'd come in. I was working at lunch at first, and then chef was like, "Yo, could you work at nighttime?" And I said, "Hell yeah, I'm down for whatever." And I was every single night, man. There was nothing more fun than working with Jamal and Jerry. And dude, it's so much fun, man. It's Friday night comes, you never know what you're gonna get. You got tensions high, people are getting angry, you got waitresses, front of house staff ringing in stuff, and they're like, oh, this has got to go with that, and this has got to go with that, and fire this table, fire the whole board, send all the food out at one time. It's freaking nuts, man. But that adrenaline rush of it's so crazy, man. It's Joel, bro, Love you, man. Amir, I don't know if you're hearing this, because I know you're not on social media a lot, and I understand, because like I ain't really about it either, but dude, I love you, man. Dude, so like ultimately what I'm trying to say is the food industry like brings people together, man. Like, you know, there's nothing like being on a line with people and like getting your freaking ass handed to you, like getting demolished, and then like after being like, damn, we made it, you know. Nobody died, like we did a good job. But and like I don't somehow like, and I came back, you know, I came back to Florida. Me and my ex at the time didn't end up panning out, but like it brought me back to Florida, and you know, I got to spend the final year with my dad. So like this whole year, this past year has been quite pressing on me, and you know, I miss my father. I think about him every day, but like if I had stayed in Pennsylvania, I wouldn't have got to have that, you know, that last bit of time with my dad. But like I just want, you know, like some final thoughts about the food industry. It's like, you know, if it's something that you're passionate about, I would encourage you, you know, like if you've ever even considered, you know, cooking, do it, because it really does. It brings people together. You just got to know that like not everybody's going to have the same passion as you. You know, you got to realize, you know what? I forgot. My boys here in Florida. So we got Cody Page, Tom Dolan. Dude, yo, you two, both of you. Yo, like I love you guys both, man. Like you guys are the real ones, for real. Like you guys are very talented. Tom, I gotta hand it to you, bro. Like you, in my opinion, and I'm not even trying to boost your ego or anything, but you are probably, I would say, one of the best chefs in Vero Beach, for sure. Like without it, you know, no, not without a doubt, you're definitely one of the best chefs in Vero Beach. I wanted to shout out to Freddie, Alfredo, my buddy Arce, my good buddy Freddie. Dude, I love you, man. Yo, like we had some freaking crazy times together. But yeah, so Tom and Cody, both of y'all, you guys are the real ones. And as far as, my final thoughts are, you know, like if you've ever considered cooking, I would just say do it. Just do it. But you got to realize not everybody's going to have the same passion as you. And you have to realize that you're going to be working some nights with some dude who doesn't give a shit about the food. You know, like I've seen people, you know, like drop a burger on the grill with nothing on it. No salt, no pepper, no seasoning, no nothing. And they make this almost the same amount of money as you. It's retarded. I mean, that's one thing for sure. Like you're going to work with some people who do not give a shit about the food. And once you make peace with that and you realize that like chances are you're going to be the hardest working one. You're going to work hard, you're going to come in, you're going to work 100 times harder than some people. You just have to accept that fact, and you have to realize that you have to realize that you probably, I mean, you got to come in and with expectations that, you know, that you got a bunch of lunchtime people that don't know what the heck they're doing most of the time. The whole place will be messy. None of their mise en place, which means things in place, that it's all over the place. It's a freaking disaster. You got to come in and clean up after them or tell them to go somewhere so like you can straighten up the line and get ready for dinner. I mean, it's just crazy. But like, my final thoughts are, my love letter to the food industry, like, I got mad respect for you guys. A lot of people have been asking me what I'm doing now. Going back to corporate, man. I am working at Starbucks, and I'm very proud of that fact. I'm making less money, but I'm okay with that. I realize that the older you get, money does not buy happiness. I can tell you that. Like, I've made a lot of money, and I could tell you that it does not buy happiness. You have to realize that it's not always about money. And I feel like it's time for me to just take a break. I need a break. But yeah, Misha, stop it. But yeah, those are my final thoughts. And to everybody who is watching the video, it's been a long video, but I just want you to know that, like, if you're watching, thanks, I guess. And thanks for tuning in this long. I got mad love for all you guys. Anybody that I've shared a line with, I got mad respect for you. And just keep that in mind. And maybe it's not goodbye. Maybe it's I'll see you guys someday. But for right now, I'm just I feel like I need a break. I need a breather. And now's never been a better time for me to just kind of take a break, and just I need to clear my head and just kind of figure out like what my new passions are. So anyway, I won't keep you guys much longer. I just wanted to say, all you guys. So if I mention you, just know I got mad respect for you. So that's Omar, Gabby, Joel, Izzy, Jerry, Jamal, Tyrell, Abel. The list really goes on and on. Tom, Cody, all you guys, Alfredo. If I forgot you, Alejandro, if I forgot you, just know that like I didn't really forget you. I just like my memory is just shot, man. But anyway, so yeah, that's the video. My love letter to the food industry. I'll catch you guys later. But it's I'll see you.